Hello and welcome. This is Midday News. Thanks for joining us. Police are tracking a group of men following the kidnapping of a number of people at around 5 a.m. yesterday morning, May 12th, in Western Province near the border with Hela and Southern Highlands provinces. Police Commissioner David Manning said specialist police with experience in dealing with domestic terrorists are working to bring the hostage out safely. Those being held captive including a health worker and his wife, an elementary school teacher and his wife, and a number of students. Noting that this isn't the first time that people are being kidnapped and held hostage in this area, the Commissioner highlighted the existence of the Counter-Terrorism Act and said police will fully utilize this authority as the situation requires. He also asked political leaders to refrain from getting involved and creating confusion. 2 fallen Australian World War I soldiers have been honoured with new headstones in Papua New Guinea. On May 6th, a Royal Australian Air Force C-27J Spartan flew the headstones from Port Moresby to Kavieng, New Ireland Province. The restored memorials belong to Captain G.O. Manning and Private W.T. Addis, both members of Tropical Force. They were accompanied by Rowan Foster from the Office of Australian War Graves, or OAWG, which maintains these sites as part of Australia's commitment to honouring Commonwealth servicemen. War graves like those of Captain Manning and PTE Addis are continually maintained by the OAWG to ensure that the sacrifices made by Commonwealth sailors, soldiers and aviators are remembered by future generations. The International Organization for Migration, in close coordination with the national government and with support from the U.S. government, is assisting the development and rollout of a community-owned ward development plan in Iwi Tumbiali area in Hela Province. The ward development plan was officially launched on 15th April. Home to more than 3,700 people, the ward has taken an important step towards realizing its development aspiration through inclusive participation and grassroots leadership. The plan aimed to promote inclusive, community-driven development while strengthening disaster preparedness and resilience at the local level. The Miss Bird of Paradise PNG has entered into a partnership with the University of Papua New Guinea's Fly River Students Association, Grace Collections and JG events in preparation for the first ever Miss Bird of Paradise Western Provincial Pageant. The signing took place on the 9th May 2025 and is part of MBOP's national expansion with the goal of working with all 22 provinces as Papua New Guinea celebrates its 50th year of independence. The initiative is MBOP's contribution to building a stronger, more inclusive and culturally proud nation. Under this partnership, each provincial queen will serve as a province's culture and tourism ambassador, spotlighting local heritage, indigenous beauty and tourism potential. Charles Darwin first published his seminal work on evolution more than 150 years ago. Since that time, one particular question of how new species form has confounded scientists, but a study of SAMs on remote Lord Howe Island is changing that and helping to solve the mystery.
These palms may look similar, but they're actually two different species.
The two palms we have at Lord Howe Island, they evolved on this tiny island while they were living next to each other. The first proof in the world of sympatric speciation.
That means they evolved from a common ancestor despite a lack of geographic separation, a process so rare even Darwin considered it unlikely.
We found something totally different from what we believed was the case for species diversity. So imagine a few humans on an island for 1 million years. Nobody would think that they would evolve into different species, but actually plants do.
This sandy soil.
Now the soil here is helping scientists understand why. A 20-year study of Kentia palms suggests fungi has been a major influence on their evolution.
So what we are discovering is that the relationship between these fungi and the plants is very intimate, and actually the plant and the fungi can make like specific partnership that allows them to sort of survive stressful conditions.
And Lord Howe Island's isolation from human contact until the late 1700s is providing the ideal scientific control.
Lord Howe Island is like a natural laboratory for evolutionary biology.
So this is the controlled environment of the experiment. One tray will have mycorrhizae and one won't from the same area. What we're trying to achieve here is to see the differences in growing or the germination rate or the size of what's being grown.
This may all sound like something out of a high school biology class, but those involved in the project say it has real-world applications to help people and the planet adapt in the face of climate change.
So the more we understand about these processes, then the better we are able to conserve the environments that are left.
And potentially solve a biological mystery millions of years in the making.
7 separate vehicle crash across Victoria over the Mother's Day weekend have left 10 dead and 7 injured. This brings the total number of fatalities on Victorian roads this year to 111, 10 more than the same time last year. Victoria Police are conducting a statewide operation this week aimed at drivers who are speeding.
8 hours. Tragic scenes in 7 separate crashes across the state, leaving 10 dead and 7 injured.
It's not something we've seen for 2 years.
In Eganstown, near Dalesford, 2 cars collided just before midday after a car crossed onto the wrong side of the road, killing both the driver and the passenger of one car, while seriously injuring the driver of the second car. In Clayton South, another head-on collision at an intersection. Both drivers, a 46-year-old man and a 52-year-old woman, dying at the scene.
It's incredibly frustrating because we know what's causing trauma. We address the causation as best we can, but we cannot be everywhere at all times.
And that follows a horrific weekend. A tragic end to Mother's Day. A 2-car collision at Trafalgar left 1 woman dead, her husband and 2 teenage children badly injured. The 2 occupants of the other car also injured.
One of the vehicles travelling along North Canal Road has failed to stop at a stop sign, crossed into the intersection, right into the path of a car travelling from Trafalgar towards Willgrove.
Also fatal crashes in Pootala, Moutajup and Swan Hill West. 112 people have lost their lives on Victorian roads this year, 10 more than the same time last year.
We're still seeing a very high level of accidents being contributed to by distraction, speed and alcohol and drugs, and not wearing a seatbelt.
We could get up to 20 or 30 referrals for counselling and support services for one crash. So that's just a really, I guess, harsh reminder of the ripple effects of road trauma.
These latest fatalities come at the start of National Road Safety Week, an initiative aiming to highlight the impact of road trauma and ways to reduce it. Victoria Police is conducting a statewide operation this week, cracking down on drivers breaking the rules.
In sports, the Papua New Guinea Football Association has applauded Octedi Mining Limited for its vital support in shaping the future of football in PNG through a 1 million kina sponsorship. In a recent check presentation to PNG FA, OTML Managing Director and Chief Executive Officer Kedi Limbit emphasized the importance of structured development, starting with players as young as 5 through school-based competitions. He said the OTML is proud to support football and build a good future through sports. The support will go towards schools and youth competitions and open real pathways to professional football in the country. And this ends the Midday News. To join us at 6 tonight for more.